What's up? Ooh, it's a great day, baby. Let's go. Kajaka, what's up? Sending out a few notifications. Salutations, Evicted, what's up? Was just watching your podcast, had to stop halfway through. Oh, for this? Okay, all right. I was like, because I hated it, I had to stop halfway through. Yeah, the podcast has been fun. We've last week we had a crazy popular week, even though I thought it was a not great episode personally. We just kind of talked shit for a while. Had our most listens, so go figure that one out. So I just tweeted it a little bit ago, but I think this is worth talking about because Ableton, what's up, brother? Let's just like keep things pretty simple here, okay? On a higher time frame, you can't even really call this a higher high, but we'll do like the equal high. That's what EH is. So I want to start off talking here because, oh my god, 1571, dude, let's go. So, Wookiee Slayer, what's good? I mean, I see a couple of things. I see a short-term plan. I also see a longer-term idea, I guess I should say. Which, by the way, again, if the music's messed up, let me know. There's a couple things that are just kind of popping out to me right now. One is like on a level playing field. And you're looking at this. It's not really a ton to get excited about. There really isn't. If you go back, we essentially in the last 2-3 days. We broke a DTL going back to April. I mean, it's October, guys. That's a 6-month downtrend. So the way that I'm looking at this right now, that this box right here determines our fate. Like, no joke. This box determines our fate. This red box. I'll put the arrow down to it to make it more clear as to what I'm talking about. And why do I say that? Well, because on a higher time frame, I mean, Bitcoin is just doing dirty things right now, which is great to see. I'll go to Bitcoin in a second. But on a higher time frame, this would be an actual higher high. Okay? So that would be the actual higher high. And that's easier said than done. Okay? That's easier said than done. So we'll take it one step at a time. This area that I highlighted here is new support in my opinion. So if you don't have it on your chart, 1384, and there's a couple reasons for that. A couple of reasons why I'm saying that. One, it's because this is a 3-day chart. So if you go to daily, there's a lot of candles here, right? Like, so we flipped that resistance. That's pretty common. You can see all these down trend lines. You can see all these down trend lines. And if you've been here for a while, Tom, what's that called when you break out from a downtrend line? Tom might not be here anymore, but it's the area that you get a breakout on a DTL. Yeah, the A line, remember? That's the A line. So you break out from the A line, whichever one of these you decide the thing's accurate. I have two here. The one that I'm taking is the most recent one. So the top from August, the top from September, that breakout line is the same area as the high, the pivot high flip. Okay. So like that to me says this is the area, 1384. So whenever you get a breakout of a downtrend line like this, I'm going to make this less opaque for the one that I'm using. It's going to have a history. It's going to remember that area. So if we get a rollover, that's where I would expect support to come in. And if it fails, well, then we tried our volatility to the high side and we lost. So we're going to the low side. That's pretty straightforward. But the thing is, there's really nothing standing in the way here because everything was rinsed out here and we never even got back up. That's why this move yesterday was so violent. I mean, I love every bit of it. And we're getting the same thing again today. So yesterday was a 8.6% candle. Today we're 8.4. Like that's a lot of movement in 2 days, guys. That's 16% unlevered. That's insane. Zook, what's up? So you have some really, really strong things. Not to mention we're over the 50, but you know what's sitting overhead? Yeah. I mean, that's the 200. That's another thing that kind of ran into like what's our near-term resistance, right? So near-term resistance, 1700. I do not see a reason why that won't be touched. But you can create a plan around this, okay? Whether or not you want to say that's the end of the run, it doesn't really matter. There's just enough reasons there that if you got long on the breakout, which, I mean, God, we've been buying this for a month now while we've been sitting on our hands. So I'm obviously very long. I'm long from 1330. So it's not like I got like a crazy long. I mean, I bought this, sold a little bit up here, and then didn't get tremendous positioning, but there's no way that you can get to this area and not think that it's going to reject, because it will. So whenever I have these streams, I try to do them now on impactful days, right? Days where it's like, okay, everybody's excited. Let's talk about the best thing that can happen. Let's talk about the worst thing that could happen, and let's create a plan to protect ourselves either way. Because as much as we would hate this thing to just roll over and drop through the lows below 1200, back down to 1000 into triple digits, it almost hurts as much to miss a move. Did everybody get long for this? Or is anybody out there sitting in cash still? Open interest would suggest there are. Went long exactly 1350. Nice. Yeah, so like it was just, I got chopped up a good amount, I'm not gonna lie. I bought lows, I had stops, I was playing for the breakout, got stopped out, tried again, got stopped out, tried again, it broke out. But like my using stops, it sucks, man. It's death by 1,000 cuts. You get hit. All right, well there's 2%, there's 5%, there's 3%. And then yesterday and today, I'm up 65% on very little leverage. So, you know, all you have to do is plan for the eventual upside break. was talking to a buddy of mine who's in options, and he was like, when you see this level of compression, just play volatility. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, buy puts and calls in the distance for the same strike price. Volatility has decreased so much. It's like, it doesn't matter which way it goes. One's going to go to zero and one is going to moon. I'm like, yeah, it's a good point. It's a good point. So you're seeing the volatility come back into the market. What's also happening? What's today? Today's 10/26. I've said it 1,000 times, but what happens on November 8th? When options stream? Yeah. Honestly, I should invite him on. It'd be really interesting to talk about. November 8th, election day, right? November 8th is election day. As I've said to many of you and repeated, like, it's always good to put these things on your chart. And I'll even do some crazy shit like this. There you go. So there's the election day line. Tuesday, November 8th. For those of you who aren't American, it's midterms. Midterms, essentially, the majority of the House and the Senate are up for grabs. So you have congressional races, you have Senate races, you have gubernatorial, so governor races. Like, there's a lot of shit going on. D-Base, Dan says Republicans take it back. Yeah, I think everybody agrees Republicans are taking back the House. It's just whether or not the stupid-ass decisions that the Republicans made for nominations for Senate hold up. I'm thinking of Georgia specifically, where you just don't know. Like, it's hard to tell. But I think Republicans are back in office is good for business. Business good for stock market. You could expect a nice little pump off that. If you get a split House and Senate, which is what I'm expecting right now to happen. I haven't checked 538 lately, but if you want to look at this, go to 538.com, and they give you the most unbiased polling that you can find up there, and it looks like that's what's going to happen. So, like the expectation is you'll see a flip here, and if that happens, that would be like, for me, we have this area here to have fun, to make money, and that's quite a few trading days. And I'll be aggressive into those areas. But what I would caution you is that we're already seeing volatility rise, obviously, with our last 2 days. I would expect you're going to see additional volatility leading into that. So you could see some pretty wild movements into Tuesday, November 8th. So mark it on your chart. I think you can even set alerts. Yeah, you can set alerts on these too. So if you're like, set an alert. I thought you could set... Well, there you go. Set my election day. I obviously won't forget, but I figure I'll do, and you guys can do what I would do. So it sends you an alert when that happens. Maybe even the day before, set one. But anyway, back to the point. Let's talk about near term. Let's talk about long term. And I'll go back to my 3-day chart to do this. I like whenever you look at something and it doesn't look clear, just go to a higher time frame. Because this is very, like, the 200-week moving average. Snapback held, okay? Clearly, that is a point worth noticing. The 50 is coming down. In reality, I think it's going to take way more time for these things to kind of level out before we get that sustained run back to highs. But that doesn't mean we can't see this. That doesn't mean we can't even overshoot it a little bit. 2,500. I think it's very realistic in the next quarter plus. Like, hell, it could be even shorter than that. But always go to a higher time frame. So when I look at this right now, as I said in my tweet, there's no reason why this thing should stop before 1,700. When it gets to 1,700, I'm going to watch lower time frame, guys. I'm going to watch lower time frame for reactions. I mean, this technically was a bear div. But the problem with that is that's why so many of these signals are contextual, and we've talked about that a lot. And I've been like noodling around, like writing some, like, if you're trying to use the MACD, here's some tips, or some writing on some like just basics of things to be successful in technical analysis. I talked about doing a class for a while, which I still have stuff that I've done. Just kind of worried about getting sued. But even if I didn't do the class, I would try to put more of this stuff out. And what this stuff is you can learn signals all day long. And you can learn TA all day long. This is like my boiling principle in technical analysis. But contextually, you need to understand where this stuff is happening. So a bear div here while drifting up is not productive, okay? Like, we would much prefer this look like this. I've talked about this a lot. So like, this was the flag down. That was good. It's breakout of the flag. I don't love that we just kind of like drifted upward and didn't have like a bigger move on the secondary move. But there's a reason for that, and I'll tell you what that is in a second. So it just looks less good. Okay? But back to my contextual point, you can't look at this stuff and say, oh, well, there's a bear div on a 30-minute, so like I should hedge or I should get out or whatever it may be. We just went through 30 plus days of compression on 30 days. And now you're looking at a 30-minute signal being like, that moves over. You can't do that. Contextually, that makes no sense at all. It makes zero sense at all. If you are playing the compression of price over a month, a 30-minute reversal signal is like the dude with a handgun standing in front of a bunch of tanks. Like, there's a chance he hits that weak point in a tank and it all blows up, and it blows up all the tanks next to him, but like, that's a 1 in 10 million shot, right? So how do you play that? Well, all right, little reversal, the reversal failed. When you get into 4-hour signals, that's where I would start to look at things. Okay, when are things going to reverse? Look at this momentum off the bottom. I mean, we're almost, look, we're right here. Last place we saw MACD this high was when we were at 2000, which is great. That's what we want. Anyway, back to my point. I don't expect this to change anytime soon. I expect us to get to 1700. But here is what I will tell you, and what I want you to look at. I'm looking back at my other charts, because I have 6 monitors of charts. You're on 2 of them. I got 4 more with other stuff. Homo Crypto Erectus. Good morning. We will all be zillionaires. I mean, that'd be nice. Yeah. What a wonderful utopia that would be if we were. The SPY is at the top band. Okay. SPY's at the top band. Let me see if I can pull that up. Okay. We played the bottom off this. We're already to the top here. Now, the correlation has kind of shifted. I don't know if you guys saw those, the headlines over the past few days, but the headlines were Bitcoin's correlation is closer with gold now than it is with the S&P. So like the correlation shifted off of the S&P into gold, which, all right, that's fine. Gold's got a ways to go. SPY is at the top band. So if you're sitting at home or at work or wherever the hell you are, and you're looking at this going, fuck, I missed the move. Fucking every time. Let me just buy this top so I don't miss all of it. Don't do that. You missed the move. That sucks. I feel bad for you. However, any sort of pullback into here would be the best case scenario. To just kind of come back down, move sideways for a little bit, and take another run at the top band. And you'd be surprised how often I look at crypto charts and go, man, I really want to long this. This looks great. And then I go check the S&P and it's like, nah. Buying into resistance or selling at support pretty rarely plays off or pays off, plays out and pays off. Pretty rarely. So you look at this and you go, well, Jared, there's not really any resistance anywhere right here mid-range. And I would agree with that. But there is resistance here. There's resistance here on SPY. We're at the top band. Generally, we don't just blow through it. Because even if you look back, there's times where we've blown through the bottom a few times. But how often have you seen... I mean, there's one. Wednesday, September 2nd. We got to close outside the top band. Wednesday, September 2nd of 2020. We got to close outside the top band. There's another one. Monday, the 5th of April. Friday, the 2nd of July on 21. And looks like one there. Thursday, the 21st of July of 22. My point here is it doesn't happen often. And you could argue we had it last night. Closed above the top band, which I think we did actually. So just let's pump the brakes, right? Buying the top band, never great. The best thing we could do right now is just like sideways compress, move sideways. Maybe we get some of this action. I gotta draw it this way, or else it'll do it incorrectly. So, you know, maybe you get something along these lines, and then we get to move higher, because that would be the best thing. Flipping a major indicator to support, you'd see all of the TA dipshits out there. We flipped the 50. We're to the moon. I'll see you at new highs. No. Okay, but like, I assure you, you'll not stop seeing fucking tweets about us flipping the 50 if it happens. So, we want that though, because that allows us to burn off some of this like overcooked. Like, look at this. Just completely overcooked. 1 hour, 4 hour, even the 8 hours a little bit. Like, sideways movement matters. I talk about this all the time. Everybody wants a moon. Straight to the moon. No. Straight to the moon's fun today. Straight to the moon is like really fun today. And then it's really not fun tomorrow. So, yeah. Back to the point at hand. Here's how I'm playing this. And my fucking drawings didn't save, but it doesn't matter because it's very easily redrawn. And maybe it's a good exercise for us to do. Should have saved it before I switched charts, but it doesn't matter because this is easy. Boom. 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 If you want to draw the top side of it, that's kind of where I see the rejection area, and you could see wicks up to 1800. Fine. And that's our boss. That's our final boss. So back to the original macro point. This is a lower low on every time frame. Okay? That's a lower low. That's a lower low. That's an equal high. It was not a higher high. This now is, we think, a higher low. Okay? I'm gonna make it bold and big. We think this is a higher low. The first move on high time frames of a change in the market is a higher low. But that really does not mean shit if we just do this. Then this was irrelevant and we just all got hoodwinked, right? Let's talk about the scenario where we're all happy and the Stacked Labs Telegram plus AV Telegram room goes back up to 1,000 members versus the 700 where we are now. Okay, that's it. The main point being the flip. Okay, that's what we all want. If you are a religious person and you decide to bring prayer into your trading, first off, don't do that. But let's say you are that person. Let's say you are that person. Why is that pointing down? It's the side arrow. What are we doing here? Okay. Okay. Fuck, what? Am I the only one seeing this? Sweet George Brown. All right. It's flipping this. To this. Okay? This is what you pray for. If you bring prayer into your trading. Personally, I would just learn and work harder and have better risk management. But if you decide to make prayer a part of it, this is what you pray for. Because you know what this would be? I mean, no shit, guys. If this happens, it is a change of the trend. It is a pivot high failure. And you could reasonably expect, which by the way, I'm going to redraw this because I wouldn't actually expect that to stop there. If you like come up here and come down, then whip through, it would more likely be here and then come back down eventually. And I'm going to give you what I would anticipate the new trend would look like at that point. Okay, that's what I would expect that new trend to look like. And we're off to the races, guys, where we essentially can just play this shit up and down the trend because that's a new trend. This is what you look for. The number one thing for you to identify in trading are high time frame trends. It's high time frame trends. That's literally it. So if you're praying for something, pray for this. A breakout and flipping this pivot from resistance to support. We will have an unbelievable end of this year, start of next year, perhaps even the entirety of the year, where we just kind of slowly move up. I don't expect that to happen. I don't expect that to happen. Okay? I wish it would. I wish it would, but I don't expect that to happen. So let's pull that off. What do I expect to have happen? I expect that we are creating a range. You had me in the first half, I'm not gonna lie. You know, Karcher, I wish, bro. I wish. And look, I'm not ruling out that possibility. It's what I said I was gonna do today. What I said I was gonna do today was throw you through exactly what the best case scenario is, what the worst case scenario is, and how we plan for both, all right? So, like, let's plan. Let's hope that fucking happens. Let's hope that happens. Because, look, this is impressive strength. This is impressive strength. What I think will actually happen is this is going to be a range high. I think this is going to be the range high. I think you'll see a rejection at 1800, like I said. I think we'll come back down. We'll try to hold the 50. If we don't hold the 50, we need to hold this 1400. Okay? And then if we hold the 1400, we'll make a run at it. You know what? Probably get a Christmas Santa rally breakout into the range highs where we'll come back down. And then you're going to see this. Okay, you're going to see this. I think you're going to get mixed indicators over the next couple of months where it's going to be like the economy's bad, so we're not going to raise rates as much, but it's not so bad that we're going to stop raising rates. Job openings have gone down, but they haven't gone down so much that people can't find jobs and they're looking for relief. And you're going to get like all this weird shit where you're like, am I rooting for the economy to be garbage? Am I rooting for it to be strong? If it's strong, number go down. If it's bad, number go up, because it's now 100% dictated by the Fed, which is fucking insane. And then you have midterms in the middle of this thing that are going to cause even more. So maybe that's like the impulse that hits us even higher. And then you get the range high. So in my heart of hearts, this is what I think is going to happen. And quite frankly, guys, I would fucking love this. I would trade the shit out of that range. I would make money hand over fist. I wouldn't even give a shit. Okay? Because you plan for it. This is the range high. You know what? I'm going to buy the range low. When it gets to the range high, I'm going to take profits and hedge. I do not like leverage shorting. I've talked about that before. It goes against my ethos as a person that believes in the long-term future of crypto for me to put leverage on in a short. It's fucking stupid. Okay, I admit it. Really dumb. Because I could make more money. It's just hard for me to do it. I'm okay with holding my USD value on an inverse coin prop short. I'm okay with that. But I have a hard time net shorting. It's stupid. That's just my naivete and how much I enjoy crypto and how great I think the future is going to be. Right? So I can't do it. But, all right, along the bottom, goes up, hit the range high. You see some kind of crazy impulse wick, some SFP high, knock out a bunch of stops for people that have been shorting after you're up here. Boom. Try to break out of the range. You get a deviation out of the range. You short the deviation, recapture back into the range. It's supposed to be an arrow. Real bad. That's an arrow. Looks more like an L. And then you hedge down to the bottom where you look for an SFP down to here, and then you long the recapture up, guys. It would be the easiest time of your life. It would be the easiest trading you ever had. There'll be people talking about how their portfolio values have gone to zero, and they're driving Uber to make rent. And all you have to do is buy range low and sell range high, short range high, and cover range low. And it will be easy as shit. And I think we do this for months. Months. All right? That's what I think happens. Let's talk about the worst case scenario. What is the worst case scenario while I'm erasing my drawings? Anyone want to throw their hat into the ring on this? No takers? All right. Usually there's a doomsayer among ye. Yeah. Hulu Bulu, lose 1100. Yeah, for sure. So we think this is the range low. We think that's the range high. This is the volume peak. Yeah. Tom says reject here, nuke to 3 figs. For sure. Okay. For sure. And not only that, do it in magnificent fashion. Like the worst case scenario, like I think we're getting here. You can book it, man. We're going to 17, 1800. I'm sure I'll eat those words now that I've spoken it into existence, but I'm pretty sure that's going to happen. It just makes sense. It's where the inefficiency is. It's where the pivot was. There's nobody really standing in the way here to like turn price down. So I don't think that happens. But so we go up here, come down, and then all of a sudden like some crazy news comes out. Or worse yet, here's the 8th. Here's the 8th. Democrats hold everything and wham. Okay. You see this breakdown. Just straight face ripping down to 1100. Hula Bulu's right. The number really is 1100. But let me tell you how I personally would play that. I find it very unlikely that we just rip straight through. Like it just feels like that shit wouldn't happen. Does that mean anything? No, it doesn't. But how I would play it is I would hope this area, this pivot test has never happened. So you'd probably see a reaction off this area right here. Okay? That's 1095. You see a reaction off 1095, there will be some sort of like, all right, let's try to regain the range. And, you know, so this is where I short again and might actually, if I see this scenario play out, I might actually leverage short there because it might be the last chance to make money for a fucking while. And then you see the drop down to these pivot areas that are just, whoo, whoo. 700, 500, 300. Like you see some real bad shit, which is what we don't want. And quite frankly, I do not believe that the fundamental analysis of crypto, fundamental, not technical, the fundamental analysis of crypto does not justify $700 Ethereum. It doesn't. It doesn't. Doesn't mean we won't go there, but it doesn't justify it. So like that would be a short hedge into one of these key areas that I've been talking about for literally a fucking year now. And you find it, you buy it, you hold it, and hope to get a range recapture or get back into this zone and boom, right? That's what we're going for. I would love that if we got the range recapture. Otherwise, it's going to be a dark and fucking cold winter, and we're all going to be poor, and like, I'll let you guys know how my job at McDonald's is going, and I might even make shift manager, and it would be bad, right? But, in reality, I don't think that's right either, but it doesn't mean you can't play some variation on that, some wicks down and come back up, and then high, wick high, and then we just do this for a while. Like, would you guys really have a problem with that? I wouldn't. I wouldn't. Yeah, you know what, Tom? I don't think that's right. I think they changed their liquidation engine at FTX and it fucked up all the numbers. I was talking with a buddy about that this morning. It doesn't seem right. But you know what, guys? You want to know the upside of this playing out, which I think it will. You want to know why I would be excited about that eventuality? Because every time we hit a range low and started moving higher, there would be just a slew of altcoins that would fucking moon. Just absolutely moon. And they would be absolutely ripe to short at range highs. It would be the easiest trading environment if you know what you're doing on the face of this earth. The only other time it would be easier would be this. This was the easiest trade ever. 10x from 400 to my Tommy, time to short. Well, no, not yet. Not yet. I think we got 1,700 in us. I really do. Based on what I'm seeing today, I'm looking at the macro charts. It looks pretty good. This area, this 1690 area, I feel pretty well assured that's going to happen. Let's look at Bitcoin. There's their breakout. We go back even further. Yeah. The numbers that I have circled for where I think Bitcoin stops are a little bit different. Okay. This is where I see the stop for Bitcoin. Right here. About 23. Which would be great. Like, are you kidding me? That people would not be thrilled with $23,000 Bitcoin? So, like, those are the two areas, essentially. Yeah, so 22.8, 23.1. Sweet. And here's why you should be excited if we get this breakout. Even, like, what is the... I need to load a new chart. Yeah. So yeah, 23 and 1800 pretty much line up. So that kind of makes sense. Here, 25 is the 2000 breakout. The best thing we have going for us in crypto, no shit, is this on Bitcoin was clean. Okay. Watch this. See this line? That was the breakdown from here. It was the buy level until it wasn't. Okay. This green line, there's nothing at all from 25, 20, really 24 to essentially 29, 30. So the best thing we have going for us, so we actually get some of that momentum. We get some momentum. We break out this range high 23. Some crazy news happens and people are thrilled. If you like, you'll see a face melting move off of this breakout of 25, like straight to 30K. There's nothing here. There's nothing. We've talked about this forever. I have to turn on the VPVR and adjust the settings, but see that fucking hole? Look at this hole. There's nothing here. There's fucking nothing there. There is nothing there. So if we get that range high breakout, like the true breakout of this pivot, I gotta turn this off. Of this pivot, we're going to 30K. Write it down. Put this alert on your chart right here. Or, I mean, I do it over the wick, but if we get as high as even the close, no, I'll do the wick because that would be new highs. That's safer. We are going to 30K bitches. That's the alert. That's the alert. We're going to 30K bitches because there's nothing here. Remember this? Remember this? This is when Luna fell apart, I think. Yeah. It happened in 3 days. Boom, boom, boom. You know how many shorts are piled up here? That have been comfy as fuck for months now. If we get that range high failure, we're going to 30K bitches. Okay, that's what your alert should say. We going 30K bitches, all right? We're going to 30K. That's the best thing we have going for us. Because, like, if there's any sort of momentum push forward, and we talked about what a clown card this would be. If it's like, oh, well, the Fed only raised rates 50 basis points instead of 75 basis points and woo to the moon. Like, that might be enough. Straight up, that might be enough. So not substantively different. ETH BTC did another range high deviation, which sucks. But you love to see the strength the past few days. Going right back up to this red area, which is undefeated so far. Since April of 21, May of 21, this is undefeated. You got two deviations. Wump and, okay, we'll call this one big one. But like two big ass deviations. So ETH BTC looking good. And the most bullish chart we got, this. Because this is speculation, folks. And another one of those things that you love to see. Do you remember? Fuck you, down arrow. I'm going to show this, and I'm going to write something in here. Pretty great. Last time I wrote some shit like this, right here, Solana. It was, in fact, not great. And now, pretty great. Okay? That's what we want. Pretty fucking great. Pretty great. Not great. I mean, there's room down on this fucker. So the things you should be watching: DXY, the S&P, NASDAQ. Everything's pointing to a nice little sustained rally. It's just, when does it end? I don't know. Adam, if Adam can flip the 50, you'll see another rip to 16, 17 bucks, which would be pretty nice. Ace came in here earlier and said, haven't been here for a while. Hope you're well, man. Is Juno going to bounce back? I think it will. I have to talk about Juno because I was a Juno guy for a while. And I still am. I still believe in Juno. It's just not sexy right now. I mean, having happened. The emissions schedule happened without issue. And so now there's going to be less daily sell side pressure. You know, one decent piece of news, and we're right back, right? And we're right back. So we'll see what happens. Netflix gonna fill their gap at 331. Guarantee it. Write it down. Beyond Meat, rightfully going into the gutter. It's a dog shit company with a terrible, terrible way of doing business. This is the interesting thing, which I've been talking about a lot. I talked about it in the Telegram room, and when it was down here, I was like, you know what? I feel like we should all just load up on huge Doge positions if this Twitter thing goes through. And, well, the Twitter deal is going to close in 2 days. It's hard to imagine that Doge doesn't see some crazy rip, because I guarantee you, like, write it down, guys, and throw this back in my face if I'm fucking wrong. I guarantee you, Elon makes some stupid ass tweet on the day of closing that he's like, yes, I've now bought Twitter. Stay tuned for Twit Doge or Doge Twit or some bullshit like that. And Doge is going to go through the fucking roof. Write it down. I assure you that will happen. Might not be the day of, but I wouldn't bet against it, I'll tell you that much. All right. That's pretty much all I had. We've been doing this for about an hour. It's kind of where I like to keep it now. Anything you guys want to see, I'm happy to talk about it. This is the only other thing that I would say should be on your daily checklist, because here's the thing. We're not even really outperforming the S&P that much yet. Ethereum's doing better. But like not crazy. Not crazy. I'd like to see that improve, if I'm honest. When will I actually get into alts again? I mean, really, a lot of people should be into alts right now. Like, if you follow Messi, he's been big on FXS right now, so he thinks this is going to have a crazy move. Like, he thinks this has, at the minimum, $12, $13, $15, $16 in it. He's currently farming the shit out of it too. So he has an enormous position here. He's been talking about it. Xmon, something worth keeping an eye on, because they're going to have the pseudo airdrop, or so we think. Metis is essentially near range high. You get a Metis breakout, it's going to go to $50. All my homies love Matic. Okay. Matic's got upside if he gets through this pivot. So there's a lot of things to be looking at right now. It just isn't one of those things, hulu blue, where I'm like dedicating a ton of time to it, because for me, it's a ton of work. And by the way, I got this stream. I'm going to do another one early next week. And then my second kid is due next Thursday. We have the scheduled C-section. So I'm going to try to get in another one. Yes. You're right, I do. Arbitrum and ZK stuff is really, really hot. Really good. And maybe we can start utilizing the research teams in the Discord a little bit better. But my kid's coming next Thursday. I'm focusing on the lowest hanging fruit, which for me is trading, because that's what I'm good at, right? But I know plenty of dudes like Kanto. Kanto literally was 15 cents 2 days ago. It was 30 cents last night. And a bunch of my boys were all over it. And I didn't get in. So, there's a ton of shit that's moving. Like, if you want, I don't care, man. If you want to make plus EV the place for low and mid cap alts, as long as you do it responsibly, let's fucking do it. But, understand you need to be aggressive with profit taking. That's really the thing I want you to take out of that. Kanto has Synapse integration coming soon. There you go. All right. Like Kanto, I don't even know if it's on this. Probably isn't. Yeah, there you go. Look at that. Yeah, look at this shit. I was looking at this on this day and I was like, nah, man. And it wicked up to 34 cents last night on BitGet. So, I mean, they're out there, dude. Like, now's the time, if you are still trying to grind and make it, like, now's time to be looking into some pretty good alts. But, when I give you these areas where there's possible rejections, because when we hit those rejection areas, you need to take profits in alts. Because you will erase that entire profit move in alts in the first 2 days of a turn down in Ethereum. Just be smart. All right. Let me get out of here. We got 30 seconds. Maybe a minute. I forget. A minute. I don't know. Any last questions?
5 to the 4 to the 3, 2, 1.
Word? Just remember how often we close above the top band. Jacob, good to see you again. Thank you all for subscribing, for liking the channel. I do appreciate it. It means a lot to me. Helps us get more people in. Use your Prime if you have Prime, or don't. Going to be a fun week and weekend. One more stream next week, then I'm probably going to miss a few weeks. New baby and all that. See you guys.